Last we left off, you guys, I thought had probably the most intense encounter of our campaign thus far, where we almost had what I thought was almost 4 players getting knocked KO'd against some sort of demon creature that was protecting the reason that you guys were going to the haunted manor itself, and that was to find Skippy, a long lost companion to Deegan. After prevailing and not having a total party wipe, you guys successfully captured Skippy, and you made your way down back to the exfil site where you found Rundar. Before you fully escaped, though, Sylvie did encounter Xerxes, champion of Asmodeus, Asmodeus, champion of Asmodeus, and essentially, and I want to make this clear because I don't think I made it particularly clear last time, was Xerxes said that your mother had a contract with the Lord of the Hells, and that contract had your sister Phoebe, your father, and it was insinuated that you were a part of the collateral for that. If she did not follow through on her end of the contract, then the punishment would be to you 3. And as we know with the Lord of the Nine Hells, it's not simply killing, because that's easy. It would be a much more treacherous path if your mother did not succeed in that. Xerxes kind of gave you the feeling that he doesn't appreciate when contracts include people who had nothing to do with it. So he went to you, and what you found to be kind of sincere, where he was trying to figure out a way where your family wasn't part of the collateral. Your mother contract, that's up to her, but shouldn't include you guys. So he reached out a hand to you, suggested you think about it, and if she doesn't succeed on her contract, what are the implications of that? So he gave you a contract to look over, think about. If you wanted to accept the contract, all you had to do was look to the pentagram on your hand, and if you wanted to get rid of the contract, then you could do so as well. So you guys ended up making your way back through the teleportation circle that Rundar had presented to you all, and you make it back into the house. Almost immediately, you guys see coming in, and remember, this is anytime you came into Rundar's manor, immediately to the right was this kind of Harry Potter closet. And this closet is where you guys had used your teleportation circles to go from point A to point B. As soon as you come out, you see that the front part of the manor has been completely blasted. The door's missing, part of the front of the house is missing, and you see that Rundar has scars, cuts all along his body, but he seems to be in good spirits, and you can see straight out toward the swamp land as well. We'll say right now, with the time change and everything like that, that it is early morning, 6-7 o'clock in the morning. Sun's slightly up, but you guys see destruction, hundreds of bodies out in front of the manor, as Rundar had brought in, he kind of lit a flare saying, hey, Galileo is here for you to take, and it looks like people showed up to try to take that. So we will pick up right there as Rundar kind of brings you all back. Supper or breakfast on the table over there if you want it. Good to see you all.
Who's making breakfast in the middle of all this?
I think the
Is it magical?
My mage hand, probably.
Jesus.
My mage hands are my mage hands just going crazy.
how did the people on the outside fare?
We had some friends show up last night. I think our numbers are still good though. Only lost we lost quite a few centaurs, but that's to be expected. A few villagers, Delphi held her own, Eldaron, Mads. We had a few dragons here to aid us. I mean, it was good. Calcidius is currently, I think, smoking in the back if anyone needs a little relaxation, but fresh pipe packed.
Like smoking meat? Oh, fresh pipe. Okay. I wasn't sure if he was smoking meat. He's like, okay, just said that.
No, I think he said he's doing that for dinner, but...
Okay.
Rundar, do you know there are
there is profound and, to my eyes, unprecedented carnage hundreds of feet away.
Give me a perception check, Galileo.
Cool, 19. 19 plus, I think, 4.
Okay, you, with your eyes, immediately lock on, and just in the blown part of the front door, in the front of the entrance, you count probably 237 bodies just
Rain Man
dismantled
style.
right out
Yeah.
front. And your analytics in your head suggests there's probably more if you were to just walk outside.
Right. Do multiply by the area affected, covered by bodies. Classic. Okay.
And somehow you managed to communicate via Crumb this entire time. Who, by the way, the bag? 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 bag.
Crumb's a real piece of shit, but he's good to get a word across.
You're a real piece of shit, Morty.
He is a
Steve's not
darling, and I love him. Anywho's then,
The photo. Who has Skippy right now? Does Grandma still have Skippy?
Grandma's got him.
Grandma, can you talk to Skippy? Do we know his name is Skippy?
No.
I'm calling him Skippy, but I don't think we do.
I guess that's a fair point. No, you don't know his name. Skippy. Rundar will say, Skippy, it's good to see you, as he comes up to like your shoulder and just kind of sits there for a moment.
Well, Cal would know. Right?
they would all know him.
Yeah.
As soon as we brought him back.
Yeah, they all know him.
Can you talk to Skippy?
Can I talk to Skippy? I don't know if Skippy can understand a word I'm saying. Hi, Skippy.
You can talk to anything.
He looks up to
You
you.
like
That's all the time.
What is Skippy?
Essentially, you can talk to a wall. Like,
You spoke to Deacon.
Yeah.
hi, Skippy. I'm Graymore.
Like in a language.
Is he just a squirrel right now, or is he still on fire?
I think he's technically a.
He's a fire elemental that looks like a squirrel, right?
Well, so he could just be a regular squirrel, and then when he used his wildfire,
When we found him,
on him. Nope, I think he was just a one-eyed squirrel.
when we found him, I thought he was a. Did we say?
I'm sorry.
When we saw him
That was, yeah, I'm not sure.
in the cage or whatever, we saw fire.
In the cage, he was in his fire form. He still is currently in his fire form.
He's blazing, dude. 420.
What do you blaze it?
You gotta roll.
Does anyone speak Ignan?
Or elemental or primordial. It's like you should be able to get all
I
of them.
speak primordial.
I wasn't
Nice.
sure if it was an all-encompassing one. Or if it
I
was
don't know.
specific.
Yeah.
I think
mean,
it's,
I
I
get
think
what it
it's
was.
dialects of like each one, but like I think you can generally pass like with.
I was like in
primordial.
Humblewood, it was specifically Orin,
Okay.
so I didn't know if this, and I'm pretty sure it was specific to each type of element. So I didn't know.
Not sure what he wants to roll.
Regardless,
but-
we got Skippy for Rundar, right?
Yes. Well, I don't know. But I also have algorithms for primordial too. So.
This was not only Rundar and C1/C2's plan to find him, but Jace also coordinated, who's part of the Cobalt Soul, coordinated to get this mission underway. Which you have not seen Jace yet either, at this point.
Phoebe, can you? Is this some?
Now we have 2 wanted creatures by the enemy.
It is
Right.
something that I could try, but if we sat down for a little bit, I would definitely be able to speak with him. But I can certainly just like try anyway. Would I get? I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Would I get the vibe, because we don't know that Deegan was a druid, would I get the vibe that this is a being that is heavily affected by druidry, or that there is some connection there, or I don't know.
Druidry.
Give me an Arcana check.
That's a fair question. Like, is this just like a wizardry fired squirrel, or is it like a druid fired squirrel?
Conjuration.
Yeah.
Arcana. Oh shit.
Arcana.
21.
I really know I.
Okay, so there are two aspects to this. There's one which you haven't quite seen yet, but you're making the assumption that there is probably like an animal underneath the fire portion of it, and you think that maybe that was brought in by Deegan to then turn into a fire elemental, like to give it that aspect of elemental. But you think this is probably Deegan's conjuring.
Well, okay. Bonjour, funny friend. Is this, can you understand me just normally, or is this anything? And I'm speaking Druidic as a language.
You can see that he's acknowledging what you're saying, kind of following your motions.
Can you? There is no. Wait, wait.
So I was going to see if I could perhaps detect thoughts, but I cannot understand it. You can.
I can.
And you can also cast detect.
Because.
One for long rest.
Address the elephant in the room. Should we be covering his eyes to make sure Deegan can't scry in to find out where his heart soul is?
Aye.
Hi,
Aye.
one eye.
I.
This is
Well-
rather large eye.
Job's halfway done.
That is probably a good idea. But
Better to be safe than sorry.
So can you apologize to the lovely flaming hot squirrel that we're about to put an eye patch on his eye?
What's attractive about the squirrel? Sorry.
And it's right about this time that that Calcidius comes in from the back where the phrasing we're doing phrasing, right? So he shows up from the back. He's doing from the back of the house. He shows up. He starts to walk through the door, and he looks at Skippy. Skippy and him make eye contact, and as he's smoking a pipe, he goes, "There you are, you bastard." And you see Skippy hop off your shoulder and immediately go across the table, and all the food starts to catch on fire just a little bit. The pastries are on fire. The bacon is getting even hotter now. And as you go to pat that down, he jumps on Cal's shoulder, and you can see they're like kind of nuzzling heads for a moment, and Cal begins to pet him. And as he pets him, you see the fire aspect of him dissipate. And he turns back into what looks like a one-eyed squirrel for the most part. No eye patch.
Well, that's also.
There you go.
adorable.
Skippy's happy-ish. I love it.
So he's a fire. Okay.
Well, he must have it in him to be a fire elemental, but also just a little squirrel.
That's what's special.
That he's cute.
That he
can turn to fire.
He
He's multifaceted.
Yep, and to that point, I would be, Galileo would be very, very curious about like this creature of light also, or fire. I think he can tell the difference based on what he was shown to look like and what Skippy was. Skippy looks like of a different nature, but also a being of, I guess, energy in some form.
Wasn't he the light that you were like,
He was the
you
light
were like
that we-
protect the light. And
Yeah. Well, like, I guess I see light like in all of everybody, excluding like the demons or like the shadow forms. Like, Mans can correct me if I'm wrong, but I guess I understand it as like life has a light to it to Galileo, and so that's what like he kind of like looks to protect. But definitely the life, like the type of Mans, can you help me out? Like, is there a difference in the way Skippy looks versus?
You pretty much nailed it 100%. Anything with life has a light that's associated with it, and then there are differences in like dimness or brightness to the light that you've seen amongst people, but you've always seen a light for the most part within people and living things.
So, if I may ask for clarification, now that we have this darling creature in our home, how is he going to win back over Deegan from the side of the invaders? The armies of hell. Whatever.
How's he going to bring your friend back?
What is the move?
You watch as Cal takes a big hit of his pipe and he passes it to just whoever's on his right hand side, passes it over to Sylvie, and just keeps walking a little bit past. And he points.
Sylvie.
He goes right up to you, Phoebe, and he points right at your chest and he says, "That's how you can win him back." And he's pointing to your heart. And he says that Deegan, this meant a lot to Deegan, and I think at one point he may have forgotten that, and I think we can get him back using Skippy, but that's only one aspect of it. Obviously the bigger play here is that we need to get that blade from him, so I think there's a little combination that we have to play. We don't know how to get the blade away just yet, but we do have something to replace the blade with at this point.
So there was a theory while we were in the manor that actually maybe the manor itself is the blade, or it is where the blade houses its victims. Because I didn't get to see them, but most of the party got to see Rue, who was our friend that Deegan took into the blade, and they were there in the mansion. So what if we burn down the mansion? I don't know.
But would that burn Rue's soul?
But if Rue's soul was in the mirror within the house, I guess
I don't know. That's a lot of technicality that I don't understand.
I don't. It's beyond me.
That's a great suggestion. Are you willing to go back? Do you think we could take it? What else? How much of the mansion did you explore? What did you see that looks like it could be formidable?
Yetis?
This could also bring Deegan back, and are we strong enough to fight such a force?
No, not in his home,
Right.
of course, but maybe we use the mansion to draw him out, where he is close enough for us to use Skippy to threaten the home. Deegan comes, and then but there was also the large creature with the big feet that imprisoned Raj and Bloomberg and I do not think that a fight between us and Deegan and that thing would go well.
There's also a creepy demon playing a piano.
Also that there's a lot of ghosts.
Well, how much of the mansion do you think that you explored? Like, if you were to give me a percentage, like
Fourth of it, maybe?
3/5?
3/5.
What'd you say?
I thought we just did the upstairs.
So they got one wing downstairs, but there was four rooms downstairs, 4 doors downstairs, which I only remembered from re-listening. 4 doors downstairs, but you guys were only in one of them.
We were in 3 of them, so we got put in 3 separate rooms at first.
No, was that one hallway though?
It was one hallway with 3 rooms in it.
But there were 4 hallways on the bottom floor and 2 at the top. So of what we saw, we explored half. Does it go further than that? Probably.
Dividing it by 2 by the amount of mirrors that create different dimensions.
Doubling it.
We have 17.
It sounds like you explored 3 out of 6 hallways. Maybe a basement, maybe a 3rd story. But it sounds like you've probably gotten about 50% of the mansion. Do you feel confident enough that we wouldn't be ambushed by the other 50% that you don't know of?
Of course not.
Do we remember from looking at it, was it 2 stories or 3 stories on the outside? 3. Okay. So there was a whole 3rd floor, but
not the whole part of it, but there were like parts where like a tower would shoot from the mansion, giving it a 3rd story, but not like a full 3rd story.
And wasn't the room where we found Skippy, wasn't that pretty tall anyway?
I thought that was on the
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was a little bit taller too. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Probably about
Like half.
maybe like 6 out of 9.
And like there were things in that mansion that definitely could have almost did kick our whole asses.
Oh, I bet
Whole asses. But I mean,
on the
But
refrigerator.
we were
I
just
was-
there. We
Yeah,
took
yeah.
something,
So.
so there's bound to be reinforcements.
Yeah, how
Well,
long
yeah.
until Deegan realizes that this was
Again,
taken?
Which can Deegan
Well-
scry? Because should we be visualizing Skippy?
That's a very good point.
I mean, he's seen all of us, so if he can scry on Skippy, he can scry on us.
But he
I think
knows.
we also got tokens, so.
No one can spy on us.
I think we would ask Cal.
way.
Cal's reaching into
Cal's
his to the sack on the right hand side, and he pulls out this little makeshift coat and puts it over Skippy, and it's got a little hood, and he puts the hood over, and it's got little slits for his ears, and his ears poke out of it, and he says, "This should help from him being scried on, shouldn't it, pal?" And he scratches the top of his head, and it gives him some sort of protection from being scried on.
I mean,
Okay.
we're gonna make millions just selling a Skippy little
What a
stuffed animal.
That's stuff Skippy.
Yeah,
that's stuff Skippy.
Head to our website, everybody. Get
It-
your Skippy stuffy today.
Yeah,
Skippy's our baby Yoda.
exactly.
Oh my god.
He's the Pikachu of our franchise.
That'd be
The alternate to that is a stuffed crumb.
Oh my
Nobody wants the fucking stuffed crumb.
I'm
But
not
I
gonna
do.
Still have
I want the stuffed crumb.
stuffed crumb, guys.
Okay.
So
Crumb stuffers.
Thank you, Cal, for your generosity and helping us.
Right.
Well, let's. I appreciate you guys doing this. Let's think on if we want to invade that mansion. We just received a little bit of news as well, which could throw a wrench in this whole plan.
what news?
It seems like there's a call for peace at Rexentrum. Some sort of surrender.
In an occupied city?
Rexentrum is, yeah. So there's a meeting in Rexentrum
Oh,
between the
they're
Graying
invited.
Wildlands and the Clovis Concord, the Kryn Dynasty, and the Nundalian Empire. Pretty much the four major powers of this continent. That is set for next week, and they just got notice of it today, this morning. And it's obviously being headed by Rhea Usne from the Graying Wildlands.
So this is obviously a trap and no one is going to go, correct?
It sounds like they are going to go.
Ooh.
I mean, you just. Okay.
Okay.
Should we go try to talk to them before they go?
Each of the leaders of the... Well, I mean...
Is there a leader we should talk to that like would have the best listen to us chance?
Is there like a president or a captain of the board?
I mean, there is the queen of the Kryn Dynasty, I am assuming, is still alive. I do not know who runs the Clovis Concord, or the Dwendalian Empire, really. But
Emperor?
I do think that Jace would be your best bet. He's currently out in the balcony. If you would like to speak with him, because I think he was conjuring a plan to maybe send you all as kind of spies, so to speak, on the peace talks to make sure that everything went on the up and up.
Well, I think that's perfect. He's here. We don't have to go anywhere.
d'accord. Okay. Sylvie, do you have any extra pants that are less swishy? Fancy?
We'll talk to G. We'll go find Jace. Or perhaps if he needs some more time. I don't know if we've technically like long rested.
You've
Yep.
not yet.
No.
For your stat sheets and all that, you're fine there. But you have not technically long rested yet.
Then perhaps what we can do is while he's formulating a plan, perhaps we can eat some of this food, go crash for a bit, and then maybe meet with him early afternoon.
A nap would be
Head out in the night.
quite nice.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to go tonight.
You no longer see Rundar, but Calcidius says if you want to rest, your rooms are still, I think, available. I don't think there's any holes in the wall there, but feel free to go rest, and I'll let Jace know. Won't we, Skippy? And he starts scratching his head again.
Great. Eat some food. Clean up.
Okay. I think that like while we're eating, Phoebe's like doing her best to rummage around in her bag and like pull out things for a poultice and like eating and mixing something together in like a cup, and then we'll leave a note that just says for Rundar, 4 cuts on the side, just so he has it, because it's a lot of abrasions. Put some shit in there.
And before we like all separate to our rooms, Sylvie would just kind of say, once everyone wakes up, perhaps if you could just meet us in our room over here, and there's something we need to discuss. But get some rest first. We'll figure it out.
Wait.
Okay. As you all disperse, and is there anyone who's going to stay up and not rest?
Oh, I wanted to do something before resting.
Okay, so I'll get to you in a second, but is anyone skipping their long rest? Just so I'm aware.
I'm beat up.
Fuck no.
Okay, sounds good. So, what would you like to do, Raj?
As everyone's kind of retiring into their rooms for the night, Raj is going to dip out and try to go speak with Delphi if she's still awake.
Okay. As you walk down the kind of boardwalk to get further into, or a little bit further past the manor, you end up finding, again, hundreds and hundreds of bodies. You see the back of Delphi, and you didn't see this before as she was sitting, but Delphi is about 10 feet, but she's hunched over. So she's probably even taller than that, but she's got this black coat on, and as you kind of turn to try to not scare her, like start talking to her while her back is faced, you kind of lean over to the side and try to catch her eye, and you can see she's currently like holding up the body and the head of one of the people, and she goes, "This will do," and she begins to saw off the head, and she puts 2 hooks into the eye and then latches it onto her belt. And as she fully turns to you, you can see that there are 10 heads currently cut off and just attached to her belt. Turns to you, Raj, and says, "Are you here for the heads?"
No, not those heads.
Plenty to go around.
It does appear so. May I ask, what are you doing with the heads? And the way you harvest them is quite grotesque.
Looks to you. Do you currently have any heads visible on your person?
I do.
Yeah. I think you know.
See, I know that they're useful, but I don't know in what circumstance.
The more corrupted a soul, the better potions I can make from it. The more dangerous potions I can make from it. They attack me, they must be pretty corrupted, because I am a swell person. And she gives you this kind of long grin, and then begins to saw off another head as she's talking to you.
Interesting. Maybe I shall gather a few on my way back to the quarters tonight.
Take dozens if you'd like.
Nah, I think I would scare the rest of my party. Although I believe the gray one might enjoy that as well.
She kind of like motions behind her and says, "That's why I live on my own."
That's fair. A little bit more peaceful, I would think.
Oh yes.
Living the dream, Delphi.
But the reason I come to you, Delphi, you see, during our last adventure, I slipped into unconsciousness during battle. And while I don't really recall exactly what I saw while I was unconscious, I still could feel consciousness, if that makes sense.
It sounds like you did a little dance with death. Is it your first time dancing with death?
Yes. I would say that's close.
It's
I've had
beautiful.
some. Yeah, it was traumatic, but also humbling. So when I came to, you immediately popped into my head,
A
and I
pretty
don't
face.
know. Yes, your pretty face. Immediately, first thing I thought of, and I was not sure why that. Not sure why that was, but that is why I'm here. It almost felt not like a calling, but like a communication.
Come with me, and she motions you to her quarters, and as you get closer to her kind of hut is really the only way I can describe it. You see that she takes off the connecting belt that was holding all of the heads, and she puts it on the side of the house. And you see that her entire house, like this is not her first time going out and getting these heads. She's probably got close to like 80 or 90 heads just on. And in fact, as you were walking past, what you didn't notice was there were a lot of severed heads, but you just assumed part of war. But in this case, it was Delphi just cleaning up shop. As she places them on the outside of her home, she motions you to come inside, and she says, "Would you like a drink?"
I have been here before. As they say in other places, when in Rome. So, sure. And he'll hold out his little cup that he travels with.
Okay, and she was beginning to pour herself something, and what you see inside of there is something that looks kind of pale blue, almost like a full moon, sitting in the base of the glass drink, and as she pours it, you see that the moon goes from full to quarter, or to 3/4 to half, as she's pouring out more and more, and it becomes a half moon, and you and her each have a bit of a shot in your glasses, and she tips it to you, slams the table, and then takes the whole shot.
Raj is going to look at it, swirl it around a little bit, and then he's going to try to shoot it, but not be able to drink all of it at once, so he has to take 2 swigs down.
Smart.
Stupid human tongues always get in the way.
Yeah.
Okay, as you fade out of consciousness again,
Here we go.
you find yourself atop of a tower, and you see Delphi on it. And you look a little bit further past the tower, and you realize you're hundreds of feet up. Looking down, you see clouds and a thunderstorm beneath. And Delphi leans in and says, "So, you've danced with death. There are 2 domains of death that you need to be very cautious of. You must be true if you plan on going down this path. Otherwise, you will be corrupted exceptionally quick. There are those who want to conquer death." And you kind of see she kind of almost like snarls at the thought of conquering death. And then there are those who protect the living and those who have died. And she asks you if you know what tower you're standing on at the moment. And you can give me a religion check if you'd like.
Lucky number 13. I feel like that's appropriate.
13. Let me ask you for Raj. Do you think Raj would have any sort of background on just general religion around Exandria?
No.
No. Okay. So to be fair, you do not know what this tower is or where you're at. She says, "This is Entropis. This is one domain of death. This is where Vecna lords over.
Ew.
Those who enter this domain can easily be pulled in by him. We cannot allow this, you and I. Then there is the Matron of Ravens. She protects the living. She protects the dead, gives them passage to their preferred gods. Without the matron, those who pass would be siphoned away by Asmodeus, the Chained Oblivion, any of the betrayers. She protects them. Never forget that."
Now, is this the Raven Queen you speak of? Or is the Matron of Ravens someone different?
You speak the same.
That is what I thought. Is Deegan in one of these locations?
There was a time in which he strayed the path, and he found himself being tricked by Vecna. But he did overcome that before it was too late.
Interesting. How do we know who is good, who is bad? Is there, how do we know?
The simplest way I can put it, and this is where it becomes tricky, because death is a funny thing. But the simplest way I can put it is pay attention to those who seek to avert death. In other words, they try to conquer death. Those we cannot allow. They seek godhood, in a sense. No more gods.
Interesting. So do you believe you are a shepherd of the dead?
I try to follow her path. And you see that on her neck there sits this raven skull attached to a necklace. What do you think you are?
It is interesting. I mean, I just came back from almost death. I was not trying to conquer, but I sure didn't want to go at that moment. I do believe of myself as a defender. Why I may not be strong, it has always been within me, I believe.
She tears off her necklace and passes it to you. Give me an athletics check here.
Oh my god. I was going to ask, do I catch it?
It's actually a really big skull. It seems like a small skull, but it's the biggest raven skull you've ever seen.
DC 8.
12.
Okay.
Hey.
If you rolled a 1, it would have fell off the tower. But
Oh my god. I would have jumped after it, absolutely.
so with a 12, She tosses it to you, and you catch it, and she says, "If your faith grows stronger in the Raven Queen, then that necklace will allow you to do more in her name.
Nice.
If you stray, it won't do anything for you. That'll be a good indicator for you if you're following the right path."
Interesting.
I
You got like an ethical mood ring necklace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you know, she has already laid her hands on me and blessed me with her feathers. But thank you for this. I don't have anything in return to exchange.
I need nothing. Maybe one day your skull, but for now, nothing. And she smiles again.
Got all the skulls I could possibly want right now.
At that time, I do hope that I would be high on your list of heads on your wall.
I'll be searching for you.
That makes me feel warm.
Top 10 skulls all the time.
How will I know it's working?
You just will. And she pushes you off the tower, and you wake back up in your chair, kind of leaning back on your chair as you literally kicked, and you steady yourself, and you realize it's been several hours.
We came in, tried to wake you up.
The sun is fully up.
Yeah. I'll wipe kind of like the drool off my lip.
It's down your shirt.
It's embarrassing. Pull my robe over.
It's a lot of drool.
I have a long tongue.
A long human
Long
tongue.
human tongue. Thank you.
Oh, Matt.
And do I have the
It's
necklace
already
in
on
hand?
It's already on your neck.
I'll search for it for a second, like in my pockets.
Mhm.
And then as I stand up to kind of like pull my shirt down from napping, I'll feel it on my chest. And he'll say to himself, "It was real." And then he'll just kind of like retire himself into his quarters for the evening.
Okay. As of right now, do you use paper for D&D, or do you use the app?
Paper,
Okay, good.
plural.
For this is going to be a home brew, and you can just put Head of a Raven on there. And right now, you can speak with dead.
Sick. Sweet.
There you go.
Love that.
And I'll work out a little bit more details on how we can use that going forward, but I'll text you that.
Sounds good. Awesome.
But for right now, we can say that doesn't cost any sorcery points, anything like that. It's just one use per day for now, and we'll hammer that out in the future.
Sounds good. That was my next question.
All right. As you make your way back, unless there's anything else you want to do.
No, I think that's all I would do right now.
Okay. As Raj heads off to bed, let's change our focus back to Runeberg. Runeberg, as you are nodding off, you've been in kind of this one dream, but chunks of the dream recently. Last we left off with your dream, as you fall into a deep slumber, you were stuck between what seemed to be two gods. One, and you're in the middle. You are in the middle of the ocean. You see a god, or a being that is as tall as the sky is. Below you, you see what appear to be hundreds of yellow eyes. What could only be, as of right now, a kraken, a giant octopus, something along those lines. And it seems that you're stuck in between what appears to be a fight at this moment.
Pretty good, right?
What would you like to do?
Let's see your RV.
And I'm still like swimming, right? Because I didn't even have.
You're still swimming. You're between two giants.
You're in the car.
Great. On the carve, yeah. I get the raft at least.
You're in the raft.
You're in the sun.
Dig in
Great.
for your sword to carve.
I'm gonna
Fucking cool.
say that being trained in a seafaring village, that stories of krakens would be a lot scarier than a lightning god, because I guess in theory, like Thor would be a thing, right? It's a Viking village, right? So I'd probably be more inclined to trust the big lightning thing than the eyes.
Okay. Give me a religion check. I don't know if you've ever identified these. Let's see if your lore kicks in here.
8.
Okay.
The eyes are closer.
With an 8, you only remember one of these gods. Which one would you like to remember?
Hey.
Oh,
Rollies.
Hey Siri, flip a coin.
Tails.
Tails, the water one.
All right, now I guess we're paying. Also, cut that.
The one in the water, correct?
The one in the water. Yep, the yellow eyes.
Okay. Legend has it that this would be Uk'otoa, that has ravaged many of your kin's ships throughout the years. There's always a bad omen if you do not pay tribute, that your ships will be sacked, things like that, and you know that your kin has always paid tribute.
Great. Do I know what this tribute normally is? Is it money? Is it blood? Is it flesh?
Any and all of the above when necessary.
He said any and all of the above. You heard it. Cannon.
I said fish louder.
It's a fish ladder. Great. Self-preservation. I assume I have all my stuff on me that I normally have.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll let's see what I got here. Hold on. I'll reach in my little pouch. I'll pull out 100 gold. I'll cut my hand and bleed onto the gold and sprinkle it into the water.
As you do that,
That's delicious.
One of us.
you watch as the figure that's thousands of feet tall reaches in the cloud as it is storming out, and it literally grabs a bolt of lightning, and it's winding it up to strike down at the creature. This creature, as you bleed and pour coin in front of it, one of its eyes from the tendrils pops and pays attention to you while the rest are looking up at this creature that's about to strike. And you see that one of the eyes pops off the tentacle. And you watch as a sword is formed from its eye. And then several tendrils reach up to meet this lightning bolt. What do you do?
Tendrils. Okay, wait. So the sword is part of what's reaching up?
No.
Or the sword is
The eye literally popped off the tendril, and there's a sword in front of you floating in the water now. And it looks like it's giving you a staircase to meet the lightning bolt or strike down at this other figure.
Oh god. Literally.
Dios mío.
Oh my god.
Above table ideas, people.
You're getting God's spit roast
Do
right
it.
now.
Do it.
Give me an insight check right now.
Okay, great. I love the idea.
Do it sounds cool to you.
I love the idea of an insight check.
We'll just talk it out if you want to.
15.
15, okay. You are essentially picking a patron here to protect and fight for. And as of right now, it has given you, Uk'otoa has given you a blade in its name. And it's giving you an opportunity to attack another god.
Pretty rad.
That's cool.
That's
Rad,
pretty.
isn't it?
That's pretty.
The Ravager of ships is like you.
You will be my advocate of shit.
I mean, I love a good, like,
This is a metal episode.
And wouldn't you love to go home and
oceanic
ravage?
horror. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, Cthulhu.
like a little Cthulhu action going on.
Uk'otoa.
Cthulhu.
The old dreaming dead gods.
And I still, with my 8, know nothing about this other god that I'm about to fight.
You
I
know,
mean,
you
how
know
much have you bought
that
it?
this is perhaps like the Stormlord, but you can't quite remember like the lore behind him and all the rest of it. Both are like popular in your culture.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with I'm an earth being, so I'm probably not weak to lightning.
Good mechanic.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Because insight, like a good versus a bad guy.
That's true. That's a sort of what I was. Yeah.
I think that's more of Rundar's or Runeberg's.
I'm not sure. Like, does his village think of Ukatoa as a good guy or a bad guy? Because that may very well influence it. And I don't know if
Yeah.
Was perspective after all, right?
So
Or which one would my village be more afraid of? You know what I mean? Because it doesn't mean I'm necessarily going to go against that one. I may want that one because I'm like.
So
Sure,
I will tell you this, and I will let you figure out which one you think it is without meta here. There is one guy, and because you rolled an 8, you're like, one of these is neutral chaotic, the other one is neutral evil, and you can't quite remember which one is which in this moment.
Can we can you like misremember their names as part of that?
be like,
Oh man, that is.
what happened?
I mean, my gut says one is offering me a gift and the other one is trying to smash me down. So I kind of have to go with it.
It's a dog eat dog world.
Yeah, the collateral damage. Yeah.
What's more?
With that insight.
What's more evil than Garen God?
Can I tell if the big guy has seen me yet? Like, did he notice me and just not care that I'm there, or?
He's more or less focused on the creature in front of you. You can perhaps make yourself more presentable by getting on maybe the tendril. Maybe it would see you then.
That's spicy. I like it.
Now, do you grab the blade?
Think Lindsay's still having a panic attack.
No, I'm good. I'm so excited.
That is great.
What happened? Was
I got the blade.
That would
What is
be
it?
bad.
Does it look like your axe?
No, he said it presented me with a blade.
No, your axe was kind of.
But wouldn't you like another sword?
By the way, at the hilt of the blade, there are 2 yellow eyes on either side of it, and they are actively moving in any direction.
I have
Any and all
armor with
direction.
yellow. I have armor with yellow eyes. I'm gonna pick it up. Fuck it, let's do it.
Let's go.
As
You're in
you
the
pick
water.
up the blade, Tendril reaches out to you. It gives you a stair to climb on. Do you wish to go toward the creature and meet the lightning bolt that is currently trying to strike down at this creature? Or do you just want to stay on the body of this creature without going higher?
What would Runeberg do? BWRBD.
I know.
I'm saying everything that's in my head. Yeah, my brain.
Does Runeberg know that he's in a dream and he can't die if he's in a dream?
Nobody dies in dreams, right?
Nobody dies if he's in a dream.
Especially not in Nightmare on Elm Street.
So, straight up the stairs, I guess. Let's do it.
Yes.
Okay.
You would want to defend what you think is good.
Right, or at least
What you
offering me
know.
goodness right now.
Okay.
Don't do that.
As you begin to run up, you hear a booming voice. Child of the storm, you dare strike me? And the bolt starts to go down toward the creature, toward the main body of the creature, and not necessarily the tendril that's coming up. So, in other words, that bolt would go right past you into the body of the creature while you're still running up toward the creature.
Right.
What would you like to do right now?
Natural one.
Natural one, he missed. You know, I'm not on like ground, so I'm very not in my element here. Like I'm in water.
You're
Do you
in
feel
the air.
compelled?
I'm in the air on a tentacle in the water. Like
Does the weapon compel you to do anything?
that's a good question. Do I feel anything when I pick up the weapon? Like
Well, it depends. Right now, you see the eyes on that blade just looking straight up toward this creature. You do feel that there's some sort of effect taking over you, but I'm going to wait and see what you do with the blade before revealing that.
Yeah, exactly.
Makes me want to see
How close is this thing passing? Like right next to me? Like this lightning?
Slow-mo anime, it's going right past
Yeah.
you as you're going up and ready to strike down. And by the way, this cutlass, it's got this beautiful curve to it. And you can see that at the base of the blade, right at the beginning of the blade, you can kind of see these long gashes right through it.
Great.
Like serrations or whatever?
Yes.
You can stab it all the way in and then tear it out.
Let's play some baseball.
Mm-hmm.
So this thing's coming down, and I'm gonna try and redirect it.
All right. Give me a attack roll, and I'd like
Great.
to add plus 13 to this attack.
On top of what I normally add?
Just roll. Add plus
Okay.
13 as the modifier.
24.
24 hits. Roll for this. You're striking back with lightning. Give me, and you can do this on your app if you'd like. Give me 10d12 damage here.
Great.
65 is the average.
62. Pretty average.
The average.
Instead of striking up directly and redirecting it, what really happens here is it splits into two. It strikes the water, and then you see these tendrils reach out and help you with the redirection. So as it strikes the water, the tendrils redirect them, and you are now doing 262 damage, so 124 damage back toward this creature. And as it strikes into the clouds and into this creature, you wake up.
I was like, nothing happened.
You wake up in a bed that is absolutely drenched.
Yes,
And
it.
you wake up.
I got my crotch down. I'm like,
You wake up holding the blade still. And right now,
Oh no!
you can add the Fathom of Sword, or the Sword of Fathoms, to your list. And I'll chat with you on the side about what you can do with that.
great.
So cool!
That's great.
You just struck back at Cord the Lightning God, just like that.
You should do that. You
And
should.
and just above table, you chose the neutral evil creature on you as your patron right there. Cord
The
being
evil thing or something. There's law.
Cord being one of the prime deities, one of the good deities, and you chose a different one, which is incredible. I love that. Okay, back.
You wake up and you suddenly remember who Cord is, and you're like, fuck!
Damn religion checks.
Oh, I was so close.
So, as you wake up, we're gonna pan over to someone else. Who do I want to pick on now?
Slowly, we're all just becoming an evil campaign.
Let's actually go.
When he was like, I picked out the next like 16 levels. I wanted to be like, you guys want to restart now? Like that's I think we should just be pirate campaign now.
We can now with Rumors.
Yeah.
We're can now.
We're setting the stage for that. Okay, let's stick to the sky. In this case, we are going back to our friends Victor and Cygnus, as you are still high in the clouds, patrolling Wildmount. As of right now, you are on the edge with your skyship. You are on the edge of the borders between the Graying Wildlands and the Kryn Dynasty. You're kind of on the southern border. The Kryn Dynasty has not yet been invaded as of now. But you have gotten mention or notice that there seems to be some sort of ceasefire set in motion as of this morning, and there's a peace agreement that is potentially on the table, set for 7 days from today.
Do we find out in real time?
Yep, you have gotten word from your many sources below. that
Are we
is,
private?
as of right now, we don't have any further detail other than a peace deal is being attempted to end the war.
So it's still very possible that our invitation's on the way.
It's probably in the mail, or one of our other skyships has intercepted it, and then a courier will be to us soon. We're hard to pin down.
I just find it strange. You spend all this time trying to get to know everyone, and then they want to have a meeting without you.
And it's not like anyone would be upset if we just dropped in, said hi,
Actually, that's quite a good
showed
point.
face.
I feel like we should attend anyway.
You could do your thing. We could get funding from multiple parties at the same time.
Have we ever actually waited for an invitation?
No. Perfect. Easy. A meeting. We'll attend. There's probably going to be food.
7 days, Rexentrum. That gives us a little bit more time. I'd like to reach out to Khonshu for a brief moment.
he apparates in front of you.
Have you had any luck working with our new artifact?
Who currently has the artifact? Would Khonshu still have it?
It's possible that Khonshu... yes, we have given this Khonshu to study and help us understand what it does and how we can use it.
Well, you see Khonshu kind of conjure an image of it in front, and as this this dodecahedron kind of rotates in front of you, he says, "Well, there are endless possibilities with this. What do you want to do with it?" I think is the more appropriate question. And he kind of spins it in front of you. This dodecahedron.
So it's just kind of a choose your own adventure dodecahedron?
If you put your mind to something, this can help add a little luck to your side, I think is what I understand from it. Make things that seem impossible very possible. Within reach, maybe, is a way to put it.
You said make things very impossible possible, or...
Victor, have you ever taken statistics as a young boy?
I have not
Let me
taken anything other than drugs as a young boy.
Yes, and then you found me, which says a lot about me.
You've seen where this has gotten us.
Essentially, if something is statistically not in your favor, let's say 99 to 1 odds, well, this can even those odds.
So that's a considerable... Oh, you're talking about gambling then?
I should have stuck with the chips. Think of poker. That's a great one.
Well, it came with drugs.
You need the river. This provides the river.
Do you think we could rewrite the past?
Well, I think you would need many more of these. You see, there are a little over 100 of these in Exandria.
Ah.
I assume if you found enough, you could maybe do that.
Well, we have a week.
Until the meeting. We have time in general.
And, okay. What about reaching out to an old friend? Can it help us do that?
Depends. Which friend? Are they dead? Are they... Because I know we've lost a few of your friends over the years. I don't know if it can commune with the dead necessarily.
Victor's eye twitches a little bit, like, well, what about if we don't know?
We can certainly try.
Yeah, yes,
What are you suggesting?
Well, we both so we lost many people. At this point, like Lissa passed away, right?
Liz has been dead for many decades.
40 years ago. And well, we know where Rue went. Baldy.
Rosa.
And well, there's just one of us really not here that keeps coming up. So that friend.
You see Conchu kind of lean in a little bit. Are you sure you want him to know that you have something like this at your disposal? Could complicate things.
At some point, all our cards are on the table, aren't they? Plus, maybe a few others up our sleeve.
I really should have stuck with the poker analogy. You seem to be nailing this one right now.
I mean,
I was a gambler long before I was a public speaker.
it would be good to know where he is. It would, if we can avoid him pinning us down. But
it sounds like this might be the perfect time. A peace treaty?
A peace treaty, or before or after, because if we do it now and endanger our lives and our ships and...
Well, I think we bought ourselves 7 days reprieve.
That's true. We have time. We don't even know how this thing ultimately does the thing that it does yet. I'm not saying I don't want to know where he is. What I'm saying is...
Go on.
Do you want... How... I digress. You're the gambler. Gamble.
You heard the lady.
You want to find him right now. Who has the dodecahedron? As he's only holding up a kind of an image of one.
I guess I will produce it out of one of the many fancy things I wear.
Do you think he wants to see you?
No, but I don't. Do you think he wants to see you?
No. Less? Who does he want to see less?
I don't think he wants to see me. And Kanju kind of like takes a step back.
Is there a deckhand nearby?
Sure.
You hold.
You there?
You see Jareth behind you. He's kind of mopping up the floors right now. You go, who, me?
Come here.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He runs up to you. By the way, Jareth.
Can I have Matt Spin play Jareth?
Sure, Jareth. The only thing, Jareth, you have no teeth. And you look like a raggedy human.
Real quick, before anything goes fucky, I'm gonna first of all cast
Teeth.
Yeah, teeth.
Great illustration, so you can have some teeth.
He walks over and smiles and says, like, "Oh God!" Caps greater restoration. Regeneration as a spell.
Just real quick, because I didn't. We're gonna do. No.
I wish for teeth. No, that's how serious this is.
Yeah.
First of all,
We're gonna risk losing the spell forever just to give this man some teeth.
just in case we're gonna do a death ward really quick.
Oh damn!
I think it's weird or wild.
I need to start bringing my iPad if we're gonna keep referencing Victor. He's got
Yeah,
fully level going on it.
And then I'm also, I think I have something else on here. Sorry.
Did you give him teeth or no teeth?
Sure, yeah, I gave him some teeth. He has teeth now.
Some greater restoration on him.
Is he missing one, or did he already sacrifice a body limb or body part to the cause?
He has 4 teeth.
He's good.
He would have an appendage missing right now. One of his fingers would be missing.
And then as Victor is kind of calling him over, you see Cygnus start to kind of like scratch runes into the deck of the ship, just real quick around it. And I'm going to cast Forbiddance on the ship, which prevents travel to our area within 40,000 feet, if I'm reading the spell correctly.
Yeah, sounds
So
right.
no one can come to us.
Cygnus, you do worry too much. I think 20,000 feet would have been plenty.
I just want to make sure nothing bad happens.
Let me read this to you. This is because this sounds wonky. So 40,000 square feet.
Yeah.
And then 30 feet high.
Oh, so just 30, just in case.
And we're in the air. Is there any way we can maybe take that area average and make it a sphere?
I was gonna say, you'd think they'd do like something spherical.
He just sits right on top of you.
Just spawns 30 feet up.
40,000 square would be 2 and 2. Yes. Plus all the zeros.
Right, that's the zeros always get me. So
Yes.
these, was it 200 feet? That's
No. 40,000 is 2K.
You know the gif of the lady with the numbers and the geometry in front of her face?
Yeah.
That's
It might
me
be
while they're talking.
Yep.
So you've got Forbiddance, 40,000 square feet.
That's zeros.
Yeah,
You've
that's
got
nice.
2,000
protection there. Death ward casted onto Jareth,
nice.
who also has teeth now because he had greater restoration.
Congratulations, my child. A gift.
A
My
boon.
eyes.
Jareth, thank you for your loyalty.
Well,
We-
your eyes will take your teeth.
We have seen it. The Cygnus, the one's returned, has seen it fit to benefit you with your new pair of Pale Whites. And yes, they are phenomenal looking.
A pair of pretty.
Jareth, you haven't had teeth in 35 years.
Did Jared lose a finger or something?
Jareth is missing a finger.
Jareth is.
Was that result of getting teeth?
No. That finger was a part of getting onto this ship.
And
Just take it in.
how long have you been with us, Jareth?
I have no recollection.
I'm sorry. Do you sound okay?
I don't know. Are we on a? I don't know where we are. Are we on a ship?
You're on a ship.
We're on
You're
a
essentially
ship.
a pirate.
Yeah.
To put it simply.
I don't know, matey.
That's it.
Okay.
I'm not used to these pearly whites you've given me.
Well,
Well-
Jareth,
He bites tongue.
yeah. He's been tongue gumming his lips his whole life, and now he's got teeth. So he bites it. Jareth, well, I appreciate you coming over here and being a good sport. But truthfully, it was all just a stone factor for me.
You do
I
pay
just
my
need to-
bills.
No, Jared, you pay your bills. And those teeth will surely pay your bills moving forward. Thank you for your pay. Continue on.
So that was just a little.
You're all dismissed.
Thank you, Jareth.
I'm gonna go to my only teeth page now.
Spin take an inspiration die for being a good sport about that.
Make sure you have the tracker off on your page, please.
So he's got death ward for 8 hours. He's looking good.
Be safe.
Okay, so what would you like to do after Jareth didn't pay off there for you?
I'll just send it, Khonshu. And we'll try to reach out to Deegan.
So Khonshu, there's these kind of two little handlebars on it, if you will, and essentially Khonshu wants you to grab onto it and then speak into it what you want. and it'll create some sort of probability within it, and then it'll see if it can create that into existence.
Better than I've ever had before.
Make sure to choose your words very well.
Well,
Feels like it could get fucky in there.
What should I ask it? Damn it.
hello? Is this thing on?
Telepathically
Voice
communicate with
command.
Deegan.
Deegan. Will you meet us at this peace summit? Cygnus and I have waited a long time to see you again. And even longer to develop the courage to talk. Well, that was more me than Cygnus. She's the bravest one I know.
Alright, I'd like you to roll a d100.
Oh yeah, give me a D dice.
No way, these aren't good.
Raji dice.
Never mind, I'm going Raj.
These aren't good.
A 30 and a 0, so 30?
Okay, so as of right now, you hear no response.
Okay.
We cut away from you all. Galileo, as you are, you don't sleep, you hibernate, you go into sleep mode, right?
Centuries rest, I believe.
Galileo, in your mind, you hear, Deegan, will you meet us at this peace summit? Cygnus and I have waited a long time, and even longer for us to work up the courage to. Actually, just me. Cygnus is the bravest person I know. Until soon. And you kind of power on.
I got fucking...
You talk to yourself.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
You don't know who Cygnus is, and you actually don't even know the person talking was, as of now.
I'm glad I used your name.
It's been said once now.
But you do know Deegan. Deegan was mentioned, so Deegan and Cygnus were mentioned,
Hey,
but you don't know who was speaking.
Fucking champion message giver. Champion communicator.
So as we move on to our next person, as you are in a deep sleep, something eerie just comes back into your dream that was mentioned to you by one of the demons, I think the one who was playing the piano. And she said, I see you. Roll an insight check for me.
Insight. The one I never know what it is. Not good. Well, but I have proficiency, so 11.
You know that she was not talking about you, Greymore. And Greymore, how many versions of yourself do you currently acknowledge her within you?
4.
4. You, as you're sleeping, for the first time, you can see the other versions of yourself. I guess second time with Delphi when she made you trip a little bit. You see the other 4 versions of yourself, or the other 3 versions, and you look around, and there are 4 of you here, and you hear the quirky, crazy one say, "She wasn't talking about me." She's talking about you. Points over to the intelligent-looking Greymore, and he goes, "My calculations say that was that's definitely not me that she was talking to. I'm not quite sure what she was getting at with that. It's kind of like she was looking past me." And you guys kind of bounce these ideas off each other. And there's something unsettling. And you think there might be another version of you somewhere within your soul, within your mind, that has yet to present itself. Should we kill it? Looks right at you, Graymore. Should we just go and, slice its head off? And she's looking, I guess, at the Witcher, Graymore.
The Witcher one.
Mm-hmm. You're always the
fine.
rational one.
That is the one that I rolled, by the way, too. So that's a direct question to me. Should we kill it?
Just a little cut right there. Should we find it? Hunt it down?
We should find it, but not just kill it.
It's not as fun.
Kill the demon.
Well, are you leading the way? Or should I lead the way? The intelligent one is actually taking a few steps back from this. I'm not leading.
I'll lead the way. Tag you in when I need it.
You're damn right you will. Goes from like sharpening her axe to throwing it over the shoulder. Let's do this. And as you guys venture further into the dream, you soon wake up before you can get a resolution with that. Last but not least, we head over to Sylvie.
Chris is dead.
Chris is down. Medic!
Concussion.
He's in the domain of death now. We do know that. He's a method actor.
How many fingers am I holding up?
Chris is raving queen.
Sylvie, you soon fall asleep and you wake up at a table with your mother, both sipping tea. You're at your little cottage, if you will. You can see out in the window right now that Phoebe and your father are working out on the by the tea leaves out in the garden, and you guys are just relaxing. Takes a sip.
It's a memory.
Not a memory.
Nope, never been here before.
Sylvia just peek out the window, make sure that Dad are preoccupied. She'll just kind of look at her mom. She'll say, Mama, about those letters I found so many years ago. Those are nothing to worry about, aren't they?
First, give me an insight check here.
Four.
What was it?
24.
24. You immediately see and notice that she tenses up a little bit. She puts down her teacup and she says, "You know everything I do. It's for you. It's for your sister. And it's for your father. You understand that, right?"
What I don't understand is, how did you even get in?
How did I even get into
This predicament?
sits back. I wanted a family. but didn't have the means to.
So this is the deal that you struck to get out?
To have a family that I was never allowed or supposed to have. I must do a task. But I think it's worth it. I haven't been called to the task yet. I hope it's a trivial one.
So you don't know what the task
More open-ended on that side of the contract. It was more of a call to serve when needed, one time.
was. This specific dis, or did it go higher?
I think it started with him.
And what happens if the too much or too much?
Repeat that for me?
What happens if you don't want?
You're gonna hate me. I heard what happens.
If you don't want?
Well, then I not only lose what I gained, but I presume that we will have a very miserable life ahead of us. But I won't let that happen.
Will you let us help you with this sense of being a task in the future? And if you need our help, will you ask for it?
You know I'm stubborn. But I'll ask you now. Make sure that I follow through. Do whatever you must to protect the family. What happens to me is nothing compared to what I gained with being with you guys.
Can I make one kind of like last insight check on her and just kind of see? I just really want to see, like, does she really mean that, or is she just really scared?
Your insight
Kind of.
prior was...
24.
We'll stick with the 24 since I didn't give you too much the first time around. Although she tensed up in the beginning, when she mentions that you guys have given her more joy and it's all been worth it, you have never seen her more calm and resolute with what she's saying at this moment.
And I just kind of nod my head at her and sit for.
What do you say we join them? And as you two walk out the door, you wake up.